Most men talk too much. They explain themselves, defend themselves, and beg to be understood. And in doing so, they give away their power before the game even begins. You will not be that man. A gangster attitude is not loud, reckless, or emotional. Real power moves quietly. It watches, listens, and studies. It learns who speaks from insecurity and who speaks from strength, and then it chooses silence, because silence forces others to reveal themselves. The man who needs approval is controllable. The man who needs attention is predictable. But the man who is comfortable in silence becomes unreadable, and what cannot be read cannot be easily attacked. Machiavellian thinking begins here, not with aggression, but with restraint. You do not react to every insult. You do not answer every challenge. You allow people to underestimate you while you observe and calculate. While they talk, you learn. While they rush, you prepare. Silence creates tension, and tension creates authority. When you say less, people try harder to win your validation, exposing their fears, motives, and weaknesses, while you remain composed and untouchable. This is not about pretending to be cold. It is about becoming disciplined enough that your emotions no longer control your behavior. You feel everything, but you reveal nothing that can be used against you. Remember this principle. Power is not proven through noise, but through control. If you understand this, write in the comments now, "Silence is my weapon." From this moment forward, you stop performing for the world and start studying it instead. Number 1. Control is true dominance. Most people think dominance is about force, raising your voice, winning arguments, proving superiority. That is weakness disguised as strength. Real dominance is control. Control over reactions, impulses, and timing. The man who cannot control himself will always be controlled by someone else. This is the first law of cold power psychology. When others lose their temper, they expose their limits. When you remain calm, you define the frame, and the one who defines the frame controls the outcome. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. People are ruled more by perception than truth. If you appear unshaken, people assume you are unbreakable. If you appear patient, they assume you are dangerous. So you slow down. You stop reacting instantly. You let silence stretch. You let others wonder what you are thinking. That uncertainty becomes your advantage. A gangster attitude is not about intimidation. It is about emotional independence. You do not chase respect. You make your behavior so consistent, so measured, that respect becomes inevitable. You do not need to win every confrontation because you understand something most people don't. Time exposes everyone. Those who act emotionally eventually make mistakes. Those who wait choose their moment. This is masculine stoicism in practice, feeling pressure without showing panic, hearing insults without needing revenge, seeing opportunities where others only see conflict. Control turns chaos into leverage, and once people realize they cannot provoke you, they stop trying to move you. They begin adjusting themselves instead. If this mindset speaks to you, write in the comments, "I control myself, I control the game." Because from here forward, you stop reacting to the world and start deciding how it affects you. Number 2, the power of being unreadable. Most people reveal themselves too quickly. Their emotions sit on their face, their intentions leak through their words, and their weaknesses become visible to anyone patient enough to watch. This is why they are easily manipulated. The silent but deadly man understands something different. Information is currency, and the less you give away, the more valuable you become. You do not need to lie. You simply stop explaining yourself. You stop feeling the urge to make everyone comfortable with your decisions. Machiavellian strategy is not about deception for its own sake. It is about control of perception. People fear what they cannot predict. When others cannot read your next move, they hesitate. And hesitation shifts power in your favor. You listen more than you speak. You answer briefly. You reveal only what is necessary. Not because you are hiding, but because you understand that mystery creates space, and in that space, authority grows. Masculine stoicism is not emotional numbness. It is emotional discipline. You feel anger, but do not display it. You feel ambition, but do not announce it. You let results speak where words would only weaken your position. Most men want recognition before achievement. You move differently. You build quietly, improve silently, and allow success to make the noise later. This is what makes a presence dangerous. Not aggression, but unpredictability combined with calm. People begin to project strength onto you because you give them nothing else to hold on to. They assume depth because you refuse to perform. And in a world addicted to attention, restraint becomes rare, and rarity creates influence. Understand this clearly. The moment people know exactly how you will react, they know how to control you. So you break patterns. You remain calm when anger is expected. You walk away when conflict is offered. You speak only when your words change the outcome. This is how you become untouchable, not by force, but by removing handles others can grab. If you understand the value of this, write in the comments, "I move in silence," because from this point forward, you stop trying to be understood and start becoming impossible to predict. Number 3. Patience as a weapon. Power rarely belongs to the fastest man in the room. It belongs to the one who understands timing. Impulsive people reveal themselves early. They rush to speak, rush to react, rush to prove something that does not need proving. Patience removes that weakness. When you slow down, you begin to see patterns others miss. You notice who seeks approval, who fears silence, and who acts out of insecurity. This awareness becomes leverage. A gangster mindset is not built on constant action. It is built on controlled action. You wait until movement matters. You allow others to exhaust themselves while you conserve energy and clarity. Machiavellian philosophy teaches that outcomes are shaped long before the final move is made. The preparation, the observation, and the restraint decide victory before confrontation even begins. Emotional men burn out quickly because every situation feels urgent to them. A disciplined man chooses when something deserves his attention. Not every insult requires a response. Not every opportunity deserves pursuit. The ability to walk away is often mistaken for weakness, but in reality it signals independence. When nothing can rush you, nothing can control you. This calm patience creates pressure on others. They begin to second-guess themselves. They wonder what you know that they do not. Silence combined with patience creates authority without effort. Masculine stoicism lives in this space, steady breathing under pressure, clear thinking in chaos, and the refusal to let temporary emotions dictate permanent decisions. Over time, people recognize that provoking you leads nowhere. They stop testing boundaries and start respecting them. Patience turns reaction into strategy and emotion into calculation. If this mindset resonates with you, write in the comments, "I choose timing over impulse." From here forward, you stop chasing moments and start choosing them. Number 4. Emotional detachment and inner authority. Emotional control is misunderstood. People assume detachment means becoming cold or empty, but that is not power. True detachment means your emotions no longer dictate your decisions. You still feel anger, disappointment, and desire, but you refuse to let those feelings take the steering wheel. A man without emotional discipline becomes easy to influence because his reactions can be predicted. Push the right button, and he moves exactly how others expect. Inner authority begins when that pattern ends. You pause before responding. You observe your own emotions the same way you observe others, without judgment, without urgency. This creates distance between stimulus and response, and in that distance, power is born. Machiavellian philosophy recognizes that people are driven by fear and desire, often without realizing it. When you understand this, you stop taking things personally. Insults lose their weight. Provocations lose their purpose. You begin to see behavior as strategy rather than attack. This shift alone makes you difficult to destabilize. A gangster attitude is not about suppressing emotion, but mastering it. Anger becomes fuel instead of noise. Frustration becomes focus instead of reaction. Silence replaces unnecessary explanation. Over time, people notice something different about you. You do not chase validation. You do not overshare victories or complain about losses. Your stability makes others uncomfortable because it reflects their lack of control. Masculine stoicism is rooted in this calm certainty. You know who you are, so you do not need constant reassurance. You move according to your principles, not according to applause. This creates a quiet confidence that cannot be faked. The world respects consistency more than intensity. Anyone can appear strong for a moment, but very few maintain composure when pressure rises. When you remain steady, others begin adjusting their behavior around you. Conversations change, conflicts soften, opportunities appear because people trust what feels solid. Emotional detachment also protects your energy. Not every situation deserves your attention, and not every person deserves access to your thoughts. You learn to invest selectively. Energy saved becomes focus gained, and focus compounds into results. This is how influence grows without force. If you understand this level of control, write in the comments, "My emotions serve me." From this point forward, you stop being pulled by every emotion and start directing your own state of mind. Number 5. Respect without seeking approval. Respect is rarely given to the man who asks for it. The harder someone tries to be liked, the easier it becomes to ignore him. Approval is a trap because it places your value in the hands of other people. The moment you need acceptance, your decisions stop being your own. A Machiavellian mindset rejects this dependency completely. You stop adjusting your behavior to avoid discomfort. You stop explaining choices that require no explanation. Quiet confidence replaces the need for validation. People sense when a man stands on his own judgment, and whether they agree or not, they recognize the strength behind it. A gangster attitude operates from internal standards, not external applause. You decide what is acceptable. You decide what deserves your time. This creates boundaries, and boundaries create respect. Not everyone will like you, and that is the point. Trying to please everyone weakens your presence because it signals uncertainty. Consistency, on the other hand, builds authority. When your reactions remain measured and your words remain deliberate, people learn that your behavior cannot be easily influenced. Machiavelli understood that perception shapes reality. When you appear self-directed, others assume competence. When you remain calm under pressure, others assume strength. Over time, respect grows naturally because people trust stability more than charm. Masculine stoicism reinforces this idea. You do what needs to be done whether anyone notices or not. Praise does not inflate you, and criticism does not break you. You remain steady because your identity is not built on opinions. This independence changes how people interact with you. They negotiate differently. They speak more carefully. They recognize that manipulation has no effect on someone who does not fear disapproval. Power often comes not from forcing outcomes, but from refusing to be moved by pressure. If this resonates with you, write in the comments, "I don't seek approval, I build respect." From here forward, you stop asking for permission and start moving with certainty. Number 6. The discipline of calculated action. Movement without thought creates noise, not results. Many people confuse activity with progress, believing constant action proves strength. In reality, uncontrolled action exposes intention and drains energy. Calculated action works differently. You move with purpose, and only when the outcome justifies the effort. Every decision carries weight, so you learn to measure consequences before stepping forward. This is where Machiavellian thinking separates strategy from impulse. You do not rush because urgency is often manufactured by emotion or by others who want you reacting instead of thinking. When you slow the process down, clarity appears. You begin to see hidden motives, long-term risks, and opportunities invisible to impatient minds. A silent but deadly attitude is built on precision. Words are chosen carefully. Actions are limited but decisive. When you finally move, there is no hesitation because the thinking has already been done. Discipline becomes your advantage here. Not the loud discipline that seeks recognition, but the quiet kind that repeats small, controlled behaviors every day. You show up when motivation disappears. You finish what you start, even when no one is watching. This consistency creates reliability, and reliability builds influence. People trust the man who does not swing between extremes. Emotional highs and lows make someone unpredictable in the wrong way. Controlled discipline makes you predictable in strength and unpredictable in strategy. Others never know when you will act, only that when you do, it matters. Masculine stoicism reinforces this patience. You accept discomfort without complaint. You understand that short-term sacrifice builds long-term leverage. While others chase quick victories, you build positioning. Over time, positioning wins more battles than aggression ever could. Calculated action also requires restraint. Not every opportunity deserves pursuit. Some victories cost more than they return. Knowing when not to engage is a form of intelligence many people never develop. Walking away preserves focus, and focus multiplies effectiveness. The gangster mindset is not about dominating every situation. It is about choosing the situations that strengthen your position. You conserve energy for moments that truly matter. This creates an aura of control because your actions appear intentional rather than reactive. People begin to assume you see further ahead than they do, and often that assumption alone changes how they behave around you. Power grows quietly through repetition. Small, disciplined choices compound until your presence carries weight without effort. You no longer need to prove capability because results speak on your behalf. The world responds differently to someone who moves with certainty and restraint. If this level of focus speaks to you, write in the comments, "I act with purpose." From this point forward, you stop moving out of habit and start moving with strategy. Number 7. The art of controlled presence. Presence is not about size, volume, or intimidation. It is about how you carry yourself when nothing needs to be said. Some men enter a room demanding attention, speaking loudly, forcing energy onto everyone around them. That kind of presence fades quickly because it depends on performance. Controlled presence works differently. You enter calmly. Your movements are deliberate. Your attention is focused. You observe before engaging. This creates a quiet pressure that people feel even if they cannot explain it. A Machiavellian mindset understands that perception often speaks louder than action. When your behavior remains steady, people assume confidence. When your reactions remain measured, people assume control. Over time, your silence becomes associated with strength rather than hesitation. Controlled presence begins with awareness. You become conscious of posture, tone, and pacing. You do not rush your words. You allow pauses. You let conversations breathe. This forces others to slow down and match your rhythm. The one who sets the rhythm often sets the direction. A gangster attitude does not chase dominance. It creates an environment where dominance happens naturally. You do not interrupt unnecessarily. You do not over-explain. You speak when your words add weight, not when silence feels uncomfortable. Masculine stoicism lives in this restraint. Emotional reactions are replaced with observation. Instead of trying to win every exchange, you focus on understanding the dynamic beneath it. People reveal more when they feel unchallenged, and information gathered calmly becomes power later. There is also strength in emotional neutrality. Praise does not make you careless, and criticism does not make you defensive. Remaining centered prevents others from steering your state of mind. When people realize they cannot provoke or flatter you into changing direction, they begin to respect your boundaries automatically. Controlled presence signals self-sufficiency. You are not seeking attention because your value does not depend on being noticed. Ironically, this makes you more noticeable. In a world filled with noise, calm stands out. Stillness attracts attention because it suggests confidence without effort. Over time, this presence changes how opportunities come to you. People trust stability. They rely on those who appear grounded under pressure. Your words begin to carry more influence because you do not waste them. Every action appears intentional. Every silence feels chosen. This is how authority grows without force. If this resonates with you, write in the comments, "My presence speaks for me." From here forward, you stop trying to be seen and start becoming impossible to ignore. Number 8. Becoming untouchable through self-mastery. Being untouchable is not about power over others, it is about power over yourself. Many people chase dominance, money, or status, believing these things create security, but external power is fragile. It can be taken, challenged, or replaced. Self-mastery cannot. When your thoughts are disciplined and your emotions are controlled, very little in the outside world can destabilize you. This is where the Machiavellian mindset reaches maturity. You stop reacting to temporary victories and temporary losses. You begin thinking in longer timelines. Short-term emotion loses importance when your focus shifts to long-term positioning. A silent but deadly attitude grows from this patience. You no longer feel the need to prove strength because your consistency proves it over time. Self-mastery requires honesty. You recognize your own weaknesses before others can use them against you. Ego becomes an enemy rather than a guide. Instead of defending mistakes, you correct them quietly. Instead of blaming circumstances, you adjust strategy. This level of accountability creates independence. When you accept responsibility for your outcomes, you also gain control over improving them. Masculine stoicism strengthens this process. Discomfort becomes training rather than punishment. Pressure becomes refinement rather than stress. Each difficult moment teaches restraint, clarity, and endurance. Over time, challenges stop feeling personal. They become part of the process of sharpening your mind. An untouchable man is difficult to manipulate because he is not driven by desperation. He does not chase approval, attention, or immediate gratification. He understands that urgency is often used to force poor decisions. By remaining calm, he keeps control of timing. Others may move faster, but speed without direction leads nowhere. Steady progress creates real leverage. People begin to recognize that your reactions cannot be easily predicted or influenced. This creates distance between you and unnecessary conflict. You become selective with your energy, your words, and your associations. Not everyone gains access to your time, and that boundary protects your focus. Eventually, something changes in how the world responds to you. Conversations become more respectful. Challenges become less frequent. Opportunities appear because reliability attracts trust. You are not untouchable because others fear you, but because nothing easily moves you off your path. If you understand this level of discipline, write in the comments, "I master myself first." From this moment forward, you stop trying to control everything around you and start controlling the only thing that truly matters, yourself. At the end of this path, something becomes clear. Power was never about domination, noise, or intimidation. It was always about control, clarity, and restraint. The silent but deadly mindset is not a mask you wear, it is a discipline you build. You no longer react just to feel strong. You act only when action serves a purpose. This is where Machiavellian philosophy and masculine stoicism meet. In calm execution, you understand people without needing to judge them. You recognize ambition, fear, and insecurity in others because you have already faced them within yourself. That awareness removes confusion. Situations that once felt emotional now appear strategic. Conflict becomes information. Pressure becomes a test of composure. A man who has reached this level does not announce his intentions. He moves quietly, improves constantly, and allows results to speak in his place. He knows that attention fades, but reputation remains. Every decision becomes part of that reputation. Integrity, discipline, and consistency create a form of authority that cannot be faked. Others may try to compete through volume or aggression, but those tactics burn out quickly. Quiet power endures because it is rooted in self-control rather than performance. You stop chasing validation because you no longer need it. Your direction is internal. Your standards are personal. This independence makes you difficult to influence and impossible to rush. The world tests everyone. There will always be pressure, disrespect, and uncertainty. The difference now is how you respond. You remain steady while others panic. You observe while others argue. You choose your battles while others fight everything. Over time, this discipline separates you from the chaos around you. You become the calm center in situations where others lose control. That is what makes a man untouchable, not the absence of problems, but the refusal to be ruled by them. If this journey changed how you think, write in the comments, "I move in silence and strike with purpose." Let that be your reminder of the standard you now carry. And if you want more strategies built on Machiavellian thinking, cold psychology, and disciplined power, make sure to like the video, subscribe to Machiavellian Strategies, and turn on notifications. Because the next lesson will go even deeper, and the unprepared never see it coming.